The VA is not going to read your claim and decide what your condition is worth. That is not how a rating gets assigned. There is a federal document that decides it, and every percentage the VA has ever given any veteran came out of that document. It is public, anybody can read it, and most veterans file their entire claim without ever opening it. It is called 38 CFR Part 4, the Schedule for Rating Disabilities, and it is not a policy or a guideline. It is a list. Every condition the VA compensates is in there, organized by body system, and next to each condition is a written description of what that condition looks like at every level of severity, with a percentage attached to each one. So a rating is not a judgment call. A rating is a match. The person deciding your claim reads what the evidence says about your condition, then reads what Part 4 requires at each level, and assigns the level the evidence meets. That is the whole mechanism, which means the words in that document are the words that matter, not the words you use to describe your condition, the words Part 4 uses to describe it. This video shows you how to find your condition in Part 4, how to read the levels, and why the veteran who reads all of them before filing is in a different position than the veteran who does not. So let's open it. 38 CFR Part 4 is organized by body system, the musculoskeletal system, the respiratory system, mental disorders, hearing, and under each body system is a list of conditions, and every single condition on that list has a number next to it. That number is called a diagnostic code. The diagnostic code is how the VA identifies your condition, not the name you use for it, not the name your doctor uses in conversation, the code. When the VA grants your claim, they do not grant it for a bad knee. They grant it under a diagnostic code, and that code is printed on your rating decision. Now, under each diagnostic code is the part that decides your percentage. It is a list of levels, 10%, 20, 30, and next to each level is a written description of what your condition has to look like to earn that level. And here's the part to understand. Those descriptions are not suggestions, they are thresholds. Each level says, in plain terms, what has to be true. If the evidence shows what a level requires, you meet that level. If it does not, you do not. There is no partial credit, and there is no rounding up. So Part 4 is doing two jobs at once. It names your condition with a code, and it tells the VA exactly what the evidence has to show for each percentage. Both of those jobs happen in a document you can open right now, and the person deciding your claim is working from the same page. Now here's where veterans lose rating without ever knowing it. You know your condition better than anyone. You have lived with it for years, but when you sit down to describe it, you use the words that come naturally. My back hurts. My knee gives out. The ringing never stops. All of that is true. None of it is in Part 4, because Part 4 does not describe conditions the way people talk. It describes them in measurements and in specific limits, degrees of motion in a joint, whether you can bear weight, how often something happens, whether a symptom is constant or comes and goes. Those are not fancy words for the same thing. Those are the exact terms the levels are written in. So when your description says my back hurts and the level says limitation of motion to a certain number of degrees, those two statements do not meet. One is your experience, the other is the threshold, and the threshold is what gets matched. This is not the VA being difficult. Every level in Part 4 has to be written so that two different people reading the same evidence reach the same percentage. That only works if the level is written in terms that can be measured, which means the language in that document is precise on purpose. So the gap is not between you and the VA. The gap is between the words you use and the words the levels are written in. And that gap is something you can close before you ever file, because the document is public and the words are right there. So here is the work. Start by writing down every condition you are thinking about claiming. Your back, your knees, your hearing, your sleep, whatever has stayed with you since your service. Do not sort it and do not talk yourself out of anything yet. Just get the list down. Then open 38 CFR Part 4 and find your body system. Under that body system, find your condition and its diagnostic code. That code is your condition in the VA's own language, and everything about your rating for it starts there. Now here's the move, and this is the one most veterans never make. Do not read only the level you think applies to you. Read every level under that code. Start at the bottom and read all the way to the top, because you are looking for one thing. You are looking for the level where the written description matches what your condition actually does to you. Not on your best day, not on your worst day, what it actually does. And what happens over and over is that a veteran reads a level higher than the one he assumed was his and realizes the description is exactly his life. He was not overstating anything by claiming it. He had been understating it because nobody ever showed him what the levels said, then read the level above the one that matches. That level tells you what would have to be true for a higher percentage, and that is worth knowing because it tells you exactly what a provider would need to document if your condition is worse than what your records currently show. Now, an important honest point. Reading Part 4 does not raise your rating. Your words are not what gets rated. The evidence is. A veteran who describes his condition at the 30% level with no evidence behind it does not get 30%, and he should not. But here is what the reading does change. It tells you what evidence the VA needs to see, because the level is written in specific terms, and those terms tell you exactly what has to be measured, documented, and put in your file. That is not a trick. That is the rating criteria telling you what it is looking for. So when you go to an appointment, you are not walking in saying my back hurts. You are able to describe what your condition actually does in the terms the criteria are written in, so the provider knows what to examine and what to write down. The evidence that decides your rating is evidence that has to get created by somebody. Knowing what the criteria require is how you make sure it gets created accurately, and the honesty rule holds the whole way through. You are not inflating anything, and you are not performing. You are describing what is true in the language that gets it measured correctly. Same condition, same veteran, same truth. The document did not change what is happening to your body. It changed whether the record reflects it. You do not have to hold all of this in your head. In the description, there's a tool called the criteria reader. You put in a condition you are claiming, and it takes you to the diagnostic code and walks you through every level under it, one at a time, so you read all of them instead of guessing at one. The link is in the description. It's built, it's waiting, it's yours. Use it. Nothing here is a promise of any particular rating. Every claim is different. What we give you is the cleanest way we know to execute. For Guard and Reserve, Women Veterans, Step by Step, or Benefits News, subscribe to the channel that fits your fight. You can find your condition in the rating schedule now, and you can read every level under it. But a level is only a description of what the evidence has to show. It does not put anything in your file. Somebody has to build that evidence, and most of it does not exist yet. The next video shows you how to build it. Watch that one next. There's got to be another way, and this is it.